Hey guys, it's David Johnson with Hanna Real Estate here in Newport News, Virginia, serving the entire Hampton Roads area. We're a few days away from February's numbers being released, but I wanted to recap what happened in January of 2026. So we're just going to give you a quick update, what happened and what it means and what we're going to watch as we head towards the spring market. So first, just for context, January is usually what I like to call a reset month. So closings generally drop off after the holidays for one reason or another, and people don't always list or shop with the same intensity that we see in March, April, and May. So the most useful question that we ask in January isn't did January's numbers beat December? It's how does January compare to January of the previous year, of January 2025? So, what is this contract pipeline telling us? So that's what we're going to look into. That's what we're going to ask ourselves. So here's the headlines across Hampton Roads for January of 26. So active listings, we came in at 4,528 active listings. So that's basically flat compared to December, but it's higher than the same time the previous year. Pending sales, which are homes that have gone under contract, those were at 1,919, so 1,919. This is one of the biggest signals in the report because pendings can give us a read on near-term buyer activity. In January's pending sales were up from December, and they were up strongly compared to last January, so that's great news. Settled sales or closings were at 1,576, so that's down from December, which is normal. So not a big concern there, but we're up year over year, which is a strong sign that buyer demand didn't disappear just because the calendar flipped over a year. So let's talk about price. I know that's everybody's big concern, affordability. So the median sales price in January was $355,170. That's down slightly from December, but up year over year. So in plain English, what that means is pricing is healthy and homeowners are still seeing solid value in this market. Two other things that really kind of help explain the feel of the market. So the median days on market was 41 days. That's up compared to last year. And it tells us that buyers have a little bit more time to make decisions than they did during the fastest, most competitive stretches. So what's really important here, though, is the months of supply. So months of supply was at 2.16, so just over 2 months of supply. So that's still very, very low. So when supply is low, the market can kind of feel a little bit slow, kind of slows down. But it can still feel competitive. It can feel slow, but also competitive at the same time, if that makes sense. So especially if we're talking about well-priced homes in popular neighborhoods, homes that have been really well taken care of. So those homes are still going fast. We're still seeing multiple offers for homes that have been well-priced, well taken care of, and are in desirable locations. So what does this mean for you as a buyer? It means you have slightly more room to breathe than you did a year ago, but you still want to be prepared. The best homes are still moving quick, so the smart play is to get clear on your budget, focus on the neighborhoods that fit your lifestyle and your needs, and be ready to move when the right home shows up. Be ready to pull the trigger when you see the home that checks your boxes. So what does this mean if you're a seller? For sellers, it means the market is still working in your favor, but strategy matters more than it did before. With homes taking longer to sell, albeit slightly longer to sell, than last year, pricing correctly and presenting the home well can make all the difference between strong buyer activity early or letting the home sit longer than you expected. So let's kind of zoom out for a little bit and see how our market here in Hampton Roads compares to the national market. You might be seeing different headlines on the national media, but you might be wondering do those headlines actually matter here in Hampton Roads? And a lot of time the answer is no. We don't necessarily follow the national market. So, real estate being a very local experience, like from one neighborhood to another, we can see big differences. Well, there's also big differences from one state to another. So nationally, January existing home sales were down year over year, and the national median sale price is higher than our local median sales price here in Hampton Roads. So inventory nationally works out to higher months of supply than we have here in Hampton Roads. So locally, we're still running tighter on supply than the country as a whole, and that supports the pricing that we have and competition here more than what many of the national headlines might suggest. So if you want a quick neighborhood level breakdown, what's actually happening in your zip code, in your school district, or in your price range, reach out to me, call me day or night. I'd be happy to talk to you. Hampton Roads is a big area. It covers a large portion of the state, but like I said before, real estate is hyper local, so the details matter. And so I'm happy to pull numbers together for you for your specific location. Let me know how I can help you anytime.